my constant reader friends. I'm Tad, and this is Tad Reads Books and Stuff. All right, we're almost done with July, and I finished my book. Let me get the update out of the way. My reading update again. Graz and I from the GKBC are continuing, of course, with our marvelous team up. We're on book 3 of Preacher, and you should be seeing the next installment of the marvelous team up video for this next section this week sometime. So look forward to that. Book 3. Also, I have started Sister of Starlit Seas. This is a book 3 in a series by Terry Brooks. Please go back and check out my other videos on the first 2 books, Child of Light and Daughter of Darkness. You know I'm a huge Terry Brooks fan. This book's only like 280 some pages long. I'm about halfway through already, so we will be seeing the review of this book next week. Also, next week, I will be giving you my TBR for August, and of course, I will be participating once again in Garb August. Search for it on YouTube. You can look hashtag Garb August if you would like, or go back a year ago and check out my videos for Garb August from a year ago. All right, so that's going to be done next week. What did I finish? Well, yep, I did it. I finished The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I have difficulty saying his name out loud. Patrick Rothfuss. Yeah, so this is the 10th anniversary edition, and this is my Supersize summer reading challenge book over 700 pages. Please check out Kim the Paper Traveler and her other co-hosts for the Supersize Supersmall summer reading challenge that they're doing. I've already done the Supersmall one, if you saw my video on the Hardy Boys, and I have completed Name of the Wind. Much better this year than I did last year. It took me right down to the wire. You know, you're supposed to read these books during the summer, the months of the summer, and last year I read Anathema, and it literally took me like right to the last day of summer to get that book finished. This one, much easier. I really kind of flew through this. So let's talk about it. Let's get the numbers out of the way. First off, again, author Patrick Rothfuss. This is the 10th anniversary edition. So it was published in October of 2017. Of course, 10th anniversary, so it was originally published in 2007. Now, here's one of those things that Goodreads always kind of, irks me. On Goodreads, this edition says it's 752 pages. Yeah, not in your wildest dreams. Even if I counted the front of the hardcover and the back of the hardcover, I'm not anywhere near 752. Mine has 729 pages. So I don't know where they get that number from. But anyways, aside from that, it's over 700 pages. So I win. I win. I did it. Tell me if you know what that's from. Anyways, yeah, so on Goodreads, it currently has a 4.52 rating, which is pretty darn high. Let's talk about this first off, this edition. It's beautiful. Look at the artwork on this. So this cover art is done by Sam Weber, and it's really, I think it's fantastic. It's got that soft cover, material on it. The back of the book has a nice little blurb here by Lin-Manuel Miranda. And that's pretty cool. It's got these painted edging here, this red. It's just a fantastically beautiful book. It's got, I don't want to ruin this, but it's got all kinds of cool imagery in here. There's illustrations all throughout it by Dan Dos Santos, and there's even a world map. Let me check that out for you. Here, let me just show you. I'm going to try to make these videos faster than I normally do. Here's a picture, an illustration in the book. I'll get that cover back on there, Ted. Ooh, almost dropped it. All right, I'm going to have to edit this. I'm making a mess of this. Come on. All right. It's even in the back. It's got a lot of extras to it too, which I'm a fan of. I like that stuff. Here's another cool illustration. I hope you can see that. There's an afterword. There's our author notes. I love those. There's the Seeds of the Empire where he talks about it. There's also a beautiful world map. This is drawn by Nate Taylor, and some of us on BookTube love our maps in our books. This one is really cool. Well done. It's got everything in here. It's got the calendar. He's got made up his own calendar for this world, days and dates and kind of months. There's currency. He's got all this different types of currency from different places around this world. It's got everything in this book. Pronunciations, that is helpful, especially for people like me who get tongue-tied when they try to pronounce people's names and place names. But anyways, yeah, just first off, beautiful book. Yeah, you're gonna ask me, oh, what did you think of it? How did you rate it? Hold on, let's talk about it a little bit more. This book basically is a narrative from, well, an untrustworthy narrative from Quoth. Pronounce his name Quoth. It's spelled Kvothe, and he's the main character in the book, of course. He's got a student named Bast, and the student actually is a prince of the Fae, so he's not really human. And they own together or work, well, Quoth owns this pub, and Bast is his student, but in the pub he's just a worker. So he plays a big part in this story. We have Denna. Denna is Quoth's love interest from when he was very young, and we'll find out what happens with her. But there's also a chronicler. So this famous chronicler shows up to this pub, and there's some crazy stuff going on in the world. Some demons may be coming through, and it's dark times, right? But this chronicler recognizes Quoth because Quoth is undercover. He's this famous dude. I'm not going to give a lot of it away, but the chronicler realizes who he is and confronts him. Eventually, Quoth says, yeah, you're right. The chronicler says, I want to tell your story. Please let me set the story straight, because there's some crazy stuff floating around about Quoth. Is he a hero? Is he the anti-hero? What is he? Is he evil? Is he bad? Is he good? He's amazing, but the chronicler wants to tell his story. Quoth says, yes, you can, but I'm going to tell it my way. And if anyone's going to lie about me, it's going to be me. So I kind of like that. But he says it's going to take 3 days. 3 full days of me talking and you just sitting there scribing, taking, writing down my story of my life, from when I was young to, of course, present day. 3 days. So that leads us to believe, of course, that there is going to be 3 books, because this is the first book, the first day. And things happen during the storytelling, as well as, of course, the storytelling and, first person. which is probably the weakest part of the book for me. I'm not always a fan of that style of storytelling. I get it. I like it. If it's done well, that's awesome. If it's not, I get tired of the I did it, I did this, I did this, I kind of wears me out. But if it's done right, it's awesome. And at first when it started, I was like, a little cringeworthy, but it's fantastic. I'm giving it away a little bit. The way that he tells the story, the way the chronicler is writing everything, and the other incidents that happened during the story are fantastic. I love the story. I'm going to tell you, I gave it 5 stars. Yeah, it's a 5-star for me. I didn't know that I would, because it's so high on so many people's, best of classic fantasy novels of all time. Sometimes that lets you down when you actually read it. Not the case with this. The writing style of Patrick Rothfuss is beautiful. It's just a joy to read, to sit back and immerse yourself in this world. He does a good job with his world building. He does a good job with his characterizations. The magic system that he's created in this book is unique and really cool. The science is cool. Oh man, the history. I don't. The first person is kind of one of the only things that kind of is irksome at times, but it's not first person all the time, which is cool. But there is, how do I say this without being like mean? I don't want to come across as mean, but Patrick Rothfuss almost checks boxes. This is so classic fantasy. Like there's, this traveling troupe of, they're entertainers. He plays, his instrument, his lyre or whatever. Can't even remember. He sings, he tells stories. So you've got this traveling group of like minstrels. You've got the evil like wizards. There's magic. There's dragons. There's mystical characters. There's demons. There is a quest. There's a school of magicians, which Quoth goes to and becomes, a magic user and hones his skills. And I don't know, he almost like goes through and checks every box, but he does it so well, it's not off-putting at all. And you just fall into it. You go along with the ride. I normally probably would be giving it 4.5 stars, but I give it 5 stars again for the cover art, the illustration, the painted pages, the extras at the end. All of it combined together make it a fantastic book that you need to read if you haven't read it. Now, what's the rub though? There's another rub, and that's Patrick Rothfuss. I became aware of Patrick Rothfuss actually through tabletop gaming with Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton had a tabletop game channel that he would play tabletop games with famous people, writers, actors, that were geeks. And Patrick Rothfuss was on his show a couple times, and I thought he was cool as hell. I really liked him in Will Wheaton's show. But then when I heard about Name of the Wind and how popular it was, I kind of, made me nervous about reading it. Patrick Rothfuss has a YouTube channel. It's kind of vlog style. He sits down, he just talks, and he talks about random things and stuff going on in his life. And he has these rants. Now, I love a good rant. I love watching people rant. And Patrick Rothfuss does it with the best of them. The problem that I have is I look at this guy's eyes, and sometimes it's very cringeworthy what he's saying and how he comes across. I don't know that he has a full deck of cards. I think he's brilliant, but I think he's one of those brilliant entertainers, artists that might be right on the edge of losing his marbles. He's not a stable man, I don't think. And I know he's got a family and everything, and he loves his family. I'm not saying that, but sometimes it got so cringeworthy, sometimes I stopped watching his channel. But again, I'm one of those people that can separate the art from the artist, and I love the book. The second book is out. It is called Wise Man's Fear. It came out in 2011. So from 2007, 2011, you got the 2 books. The third book has never come out. He keeps saying it's coming out. He's got a name for it. The name's The Doors of Stone. It's supposed to come out any time, but it hasn't, and we're now in 2024. What the hell, Patrick? What's going on now? There are 4 novellas that he's written in this world. I have not read, of course. I haven't read the second book, Wise Man's Fear. But come on, dude. I almost didn't read this book because I'm kind of a completionist and I wanted that third book out. And no one knows if it's ever going to come out. Kind of like, you know, George R.R. Martin, right? So I don't know if he does that on purpose too. If he's doing all that. I don't know. It kind of irks me. So I got to separate the man from the story because the story was awesome. I loved it. I think you will too if you like fantasy at all. Even if you don't, it's a great, I think, introduction into high, you know, classic fantasy. It's easy, you know, he's beautiful prose, but it's easy reading. And even though it's a huge book, you know, over 700 pages, you don't feel like that. I didn't. It just flowed really nicely, and before I knew it, I was done. So, stop talking, Tad. You've talked too much. I loved it. I think you'll love it too. Please check it out if you haven't. And as usual, if you find any entertaining values in my video, please like, please subscribe, please leave me comments. And until next time, peace out.